And here I am, all by myself. Wait, oh, no, touch too much stuff. There we go. Let's turn that off. As you guys can see, I'm in my car. This is something I've used to do a lot with my other podcasts. It happens every so often where I'm got to be a little bit more mobile than normal. I'm waiting for David to come on. He said he's trying to log in, but I have to start the show anyways because we've got about an hour. We have a special guest tonight who is on the East Coast. I think she's on the East Coast. Hopefully she knows she's on the East Coast. Earlier we had to talk about that. But so we want to get her in here and talk to her because she's pretty awesome. So sorry. I'm trying to do multiple things now. I'm not used to doing it all by myself. It's been a while. But welcome to the Geek Saga, guys. If you guys don't know who we are, and normally there's two of us, but I'm one half of the show. I am Eugene. I am waiting for my co-host, which is David. We're two geeks, two veterans, two salty veteran geeks. And we love everything there is under the geek sun. So that's what the show is. We bring on guests that are either in the film industry or about comic books or whatever it may be. Tonight it's going to be D&D, as I got my Hellfire Club shirt on because I'm already excited about this. And we're going to get into it soon. But before we do that, before we bring our guest in, I do want to give a shout out to Donner, which even though I'm in a mobile setting right now, I am using my UA44 mic by Donner. Love this stuff. They're a great company. If you guys get a chance, look up donnermusic.com. Go onto their Instagram, which is Donner Music Official, and look at all the products that they have. We've been posting them up. We've got an affiliate. We don't have an affiliate code. God, I can't talk tonight. But check out their equipment. We got a couple of their mics. We have their podcasting deck, which I don't have in here because obviously I wouldn't be able to run it because I don't have enough power. So I barely have enough power for my computer and this light that's really bright, but it's cool. Also, best way to find us is on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Twitch, Foot Finder, where you'll be seen. No, we're not on Foot Finder. Just kidding. We took that down. We don't want to see our feet. You don't want to see feet of soldiers. Let's see. Can we get this? Each time I move my hand or move my head, it goes out of focus. But all of it is at thegeeksaga.com. Actually, I'm sorry, at the Geek Saga. We do now have a website, which is at www.thegeeksaga.com, where you can find all our videos, and also there will be news posted on there, and also a merch page, which is not posted up yet. But all of it is now under one roof, so we're really excited about that. So when you guys get a chance, go and check that out. Also, go and check out Ulanzi, which is the light that's being powered right now that I have right here. They are the ones that provided that light for me. So they're a great company. Go on there, check out all their camera gear, all their lighting gear. Click on the link that's inside of our link tree. It's an affiliate link for us. It helps us out and it helps them out and all that other great stuff. So when you want great lights, go to Ulanzi. Also, another company we are now affiliated with, which we're really excited about, which is Renegade Game Studios. They've got a lot of great games. If I was at home right now, I would have the new game that I just bought, which is a Transformers deck building game. Really excited to try it out. They also have Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, G.I. Joe. If you're a brony, they've got My Little Pony, but they've got a ton of stuff on there. Check them out. Click on the link that's in our link tree. It'll send you right to their website for all their great games, RPGs, deck building games, all that stuff. And we'll be actually reviewing the games on our show soon. So, look forward to showing that to you guys. Anyways, I think I've babbled on long enough. Have I? Nope, not long enough because David's still not here, but I'm going to go on without him. This chump. Yeah, I hope you're watching. Leave me all alone, all by my lonesome. It's never good. It's always a bad thing to leave me alone. If anybody would attest to that, that'd be Loop. Loop, where are you at? Come on. Dennis, you guys are leaving me hanging. But anyways, enough of me babbling on, killing time. I'm gonna bring in our guest because I'm really excited to talk to her. I listened to her on a podcast and was like, "Holy crap! She does some really cool stuff." Went on her Instagram, checked out what she does. I'm like, I'm jealous because I want to be doing what you're doing because I don't like what I'm doing at times. But whatever. You guys have heard that story. That's why I'm a salty vet. Anyways, and I'm still in. But without further ado, enough of me talking. Let's do this. Let's bring her in so we can start to hear her talk too. Because, yeah, like I said, tired of me. Anyways, Mr. Robinson, take it away.
Who could that be? Let's see. This is how you answer a door and
Geek Saga.
who is it? Come on!
Oh, where is she? Oh, shoot. Hold on. You didn't come in. Where are you? Wait. There
There
we
I
go.
am.
How's it going, Jenny?
Oh my gosh, you're not alone. I'm here. I'll keep you company. And you know
I
what? We
appreciate
can
that.
like talk smack about David this whole time. I'll help you.
Oh, don't even get me started. We'll
I
start
hope
at
he's
how tall he
listening.
is. I hope so too, because he's a short guy, and I'm gonna just go with short
Ugh,
jokes this whole
I'm a
time.
short person, so
Oh, never mind. I'm gonna stay away from the short part then.
here's the thing that tall people don't understand though is if you're really short, you can always look up people's noses. Like I know how many boogers anybody has at any given time.
Jeez.
I mean,
Wow. That's is that one of your hobbies though? I mean, you're looking up things
it's
like,
like a superpower, yeah.
jeez. Well, welcome to the show, Jenny. I'm glad to have you on.
Hey,
Uh,
thanks.
yeah, I know it's kind of late and over there. It's late over there where you're at, and you're it's way past your bedtime, I'm sure.
Way past my bedtime, but I got this really great sparkling water going. You don't have a sparkling water sponsor. We should fix that. And we're good to go.
Oh well, I mean, shoot, if you pass them our way, we'll take whatever. We'll drink whatever. At one point, we tried this one like energy drink, and we were really excited. And the sad thing, I don't want to talk too much smack about it, but because it was made by vets, we were like, "Oh yeah, cool, we'll try it." We made a video, and we had to stop and just be, "Oh no." We're like, "Oh no."
Oh no.
And we just got rid of the drink because we're like, no, we're not going to do this.
Oh man.
So it was bad.
That's bad.
Yeah, we were so excited too. I was so sad.
Man, and that would have been such a great fit for the whole brand. Oh, well, that you know what? That's an opportunity for you guys to come up with your own energy drink. There's clearly a hole in the marketplace.
I'm a big fan of Ghost energy drinks, and those things, I don't think anybody can make anything better. They're
I don't think
just
I've ever
amazing.
had a Ghost energy drink.
Oh my God. Do you drink energy drinks or?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
I'm also chasing around my children, trying to
Okay.
keep up.
So then when you get a chance, go check out Ghost.
Okay.
They're at 7-Eleven carries them now, AM PM, GNC, all those places carry them. And
What's the color to get? Like when I go shopping for one, what color do I want to try first? The
well,
one that's going to sell me on it.
okay, so it depends. Now, do you like sour or do you like not so sour, but because they have Sour Patch Kids flavors, they've
I don't know
got
about that.
Warheads, they have Warhead flavors.
Do they have any
So
that aren't like a candy? Like I like an intense like citrus, like a Red Bull is good for
okay,
me. Okay.
so they've got a new flavor which is the sour pink lemonade.
Okay. That sounds
And
intense.
or like our listener Dennis here, or my partner, which man, Dennis, if you're available, you should jump on too. But the cherry limeade is really good.
Okay. Cherry
So
limeade.
yeah, it's got a green top with a red color, cherry limeade.
Okay.
That's a
Okay.
really good one. So
I'm into
all
it.
their flavors are good. Oh yeah,
Okay.
it's amazing. Oh, and the orange cream
Oh, that
one.
sounds gross though. In an energy drink?
Oh no, it tastes like you're having just like an orange cream soda.
I
So
don't
it's
know
good.
if I want that.
It's-
Okay. All
but
right, I'll try one and
sorry.
I'll get back to you,
Yes.
and yeah.
Yes. We'll work on a co-sponsorship with them. We'll hit them from two sides and tell them, look at what we can do. Yeah. But
Perfect, and
that's
then
me.
they'll just, fill up the back of your trunk with a bunch of ghosts.
Oh, that's all that'll be behind me. I'd be sitting on a throne of ghosts.
A wall.
So Jenny, all right, enough of we're like way off topic already. But Jenny, welcome to the show. And you are
Thank you.
a DM full time. Well, yeah, pretty much, right? You make money off of doing it.
It is my second job, and I love it immensely. I never thought it would be an opportunity for me to, and it's not just dungeon mastering. It's not just running games of D&D. It's all the extra stuff that's come with that, or for creating content around Dungeons and Dragons, that helps keep the lights on around here.
That's pretty cool. So, sorry, normally I have like multiple screens, and right now I'm like little screen, this screen. But okay, so besides doing being a DM, what else do you do?
In the Dungeons and Dragons realm, but in my you know
Every day.
regular real person everyday life, I teach college, which is fabulous. But outside of that, I get to do this whole content creation thing that surrounds tabletop gaming and the culture around tabletop gaming too, and it gives me the opportunity to run the game that I want to run. Right, I used to be a professional touring musician, and the goal was always to get to a place in my life where I could play the songs that I wanted to play instead of the songs that everybody else wanted to pay me to play. And, life comes at you really fast, and you're not 20 years old and a size zero jeans forever. And kids come and life comes and boys, get in the way. And, and, uh, and so I had to pivot kind of my life into something else that I was super passionate about. And thankfully it happened to be Dungeons and Dragons. And I make money playing Dungeons and Dragons that allows me to just play the game that I want to play for fun. So it's kind of, I always think of it in that way, just like music. That was the goal, is to get to play the games that I want to play. And now I do.
That's so crazy to hear that you're making money off of Dungeons and Dragons. I mean, playing the game, being a DM, and it's the fact that you're doing something that you really enjoy doing, and to make the money off of that, it's like, oh, that is a dream.
I'm so lucky. I'm so
You
lucky.
are. You are lucky. I mean, oh man. It's like I'm almost ready to just be like, okay, that was great. Thanks, Jenny. Oh,
No
'cause
way. I mean, look at you, Eugene. You're building this awesome live stream. I'm watching you on Twitch right now while I'm on it. It's some Inception stuff going on right now, and I think that's really awesome. And I hope it becomes, pays all your bills, and you can retire and just talk about geek stuff
oh, I'm trying hard to do that, because that is
and
the
drink
goal.
drink a
But
ghost and get a sponsorship.
oh yeah, my car right now I have a couple ghosts in here. I just can't get to them. They're out of my reach. I'm like, oh, I could have had one on.
Oh,
But
oh.
so when was the first time that you played D&D?
Um, Lots of people think that I've like been playing all my life, but I never really got the opportunity to, even though I'd always been interested in medieval fantasy and fiction and storytelling and things like that. I didn't really get the opportunity to play Dungeons and Dragons until several years ago. And I'd always had an interest, but there was such a stigma around D&D, and it wasn't like I love the title, as a tool for Satan, not that stigma, but it was the stigma that D&D is just for nerds. You can't play D&D. And so none of my friends would play with me because of the stigma that was attached to it. And none of them would explore it with me, or any tabletop games, because of the stigma that was attached to it. And, I was, destined to be the bass player for Metallica, of course. So I couldn't find myself playing Dungeons and Dragons, even though it was something I'd always wanted to try. And then I got to a place in life where I just had the opportunity to try it, where I was helping some individuals, young men, write some college entrance essays, and they wanted to talk about Dungeons and Dragons. And I said, I've always wanted to play that. And they said, "Oh my god, let's play right now." And I'm like, "Well, don't we need stuff? Like, don't we need like, I don't know, like stuff to play?" And they're like, "No, no, no, here's some dice, I'll show you." And it was my first introduction to it, and I was hooked ever since.
You know, it's funny that you say like there's that stigma of it's meant for nerds. It's, you know, and whenever you do see either in the movies or TV somebody that's playing the game, they're absolute just the geekiest of the geekiest people. I mean, I'm wearing a shirt that says Hellfire Club, that in Stranger Things, it was the 80s and all those kids were just the outcasts, the nerds that were playing. But fast forward to now, it's like the thing to do. You've got Vin Diesel, Joe Magdaleno, you know, guys that are like out there that are playing this game now, and the stigma's kind of just gone away.
I know, it's so mainstream, and I think on one hand that kind of hinders people from playing, like, "Oh, it's too big, it's, it's not cool anymore because it's not niche." But on the other hand, it's invited so many people into this new game and something that they can explore, and, people that aren't in my tabletop gaming circle and geek circle will say, "Oh my gosh," you even just, faculty members, they'll say, "Oh my gosh, you play Dungeons& and Dragons. I've always wanted to play that." And like, what a door opening, and I hear,
Oh
the
yeah,
birds singing in my mind, yeah.
the lights shining down on them,
Yeah.
the angel. Yeah,
My hand
it's
reaches out, yeah.
oh man, I just pictured that whole scene in Dogma with Alanis Morissette reaching down.
Yes, God is a woman.
But you know, it's funny because another thing, you know, me being in the military, David being in the military, the whole reason why we started this podcast is because we wanted to, I guess, give military guys, because we're all supposed to be this alpha male type, and we can't play video games. We can't, you know, read comic books or play D&D, but we wanted to start this podcast so we can tell everybody, hey, it's okay. You guys can finally come out and say, I do play D&D. And it's funny because we've now had a lot more people come up to us and be all like, so you guys play D&D? It's like, yeah, we do. It's fun.
It's
You guys
cool
should
now,
come.
yeah.
Yeah, it's totally cool. So it's just crazy. But so how often, I mean, I know you put up content all the time, and how often do you play? Like actually sit down and have your group and play?
My home game plays biweekly. We used to play weekly, but it was too much. We all have crazy careers, and we all have small kids, and it was just too much. And then um one of our players at the table, she's wonderful, got pregnant, and so we had to take a break there, and then we're just getting back into playing biweekly again, which is a lot of fun. And I think maybe just because of where we are in life, I would love to play weekly, but it's a really, really good pace for us.
Oh, that's cool. All right. Yeah, Dennis just chimed in. D&D players were always portrayed as fat neck beards who live in their mom's basement.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's part of the stigma for sure.
It totally is. I mean, come on. It's just how it's been. So, how is it that you got to this point where you're now making the money doing this? What is it that you're doing that you're doing to do this?
So it was a really bizarre turn of events that made it something more than just for fun. I was playing with some friends, and we started a Twitch stream of our Dungeons and Dragons game. And that was more successful than I thought it was going to be. More people actually wanted to watch us play Dungeons and Dragons than I kind of surmised would. And they were most of the players, or I guess all of the players at that table, were at least 10 years younger than I am. They're significantly younger than I am. They're in their 20s. And they introduced me to TikTok, which I was familiar with because I work in the music industry and I work in academia and I hang out with 19-year-olds all day, but I hadn't really invested a large chunk of time into it. And I started explore, and they started doing um TikTok post to promote the stream and streaming the game on TikTok live, and it had a fairly good response there. And so I made my own TikTok just because, and I just kind of documented the behind the scenes process and what it was like for me, and people totally connected to it. I was really surprised, just sharing like my insecurities as a dungeon master, and um, some of the more difficult challenges in prep, and learning to prep as I was becoming a dungeon master for the first time, let alone for a live stream. And when the group eventually fell apart, I still had that TikTok account, and I was still had all, like, this community of people who felt the weight of this game, and it was important to them, and whatever I was seeing was resonating with them. And so I just kept talking, not just to them, but with them in the comments, and what they cared about and what I cared about. And it developed into this little niche community. And then I just started randomly putting some of it on Instagram and putting some of it on YouTube and seeing what happens. And lots of brands started reaching out to me, and they'd say, we want to pay you to play with our D&D products. And I was like, no, no, not me. And they're like, yeah, we want to pay you lots of money to play with our Dungeons and Dragons products. I was like, no way, I can't believe this. But they did. And then it started expanding further, where other gaming companies were like, we want to pay you to play our computer game. We want to pay you to play our mobile game. We want to. And I couldn't believe it, because I'm like, who am I that they would want me to represent their brand? And I think I still can't believe it. And I think I'm really lucky that companies send me really cool stuff to play D&D with and talk about. And I still, I don't just do brand content. I still talk to fellow content creators and D&D players about the struggles that I have, because I've been dungeon mastering and playing D&D for years, and I still struggle with some aspects of the game.
That's just crazy. That's crazy. And you know what? You're not the first one that we've heard or we've talked to. I don't know if you know Randy Sackett. Really cool guy.
Maybe.
Realm of Forged Realms. Oh my god, I always get the name mixed up.
You're gonna have to give me that name, because I don't know what the people's real names are. They're not real.
I'll send that over to you, because he's a really cool guy. He does D&D, and he kind of has a similar story that you have, where he's like, yeah, I kind of just started up, and then all of a sudden now I'm at like 125,000 followers, and I'm like, what is, there we go, Forged Realms. God, I'm glad.
Maybe I'll look him up.
Yeah, really nice guy, really cool guy. Always puts up content. He does some amazing 3D builds.
Ooh.
Yeah, him and James over at Dragon Nest Delivery, which
he's in I know James. James is over by me.
Yeah.
Sunnyside James. He's in Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And good for him for starting up a subscription box. That's hot right now. Good for him.
Yeah, it's really cool. I was like, dude, send one over. We'll definitely review that thing, because
really did you guys do that? Did you review a box?
We haven't gotten one yet, but he said he's going to send one once he gets back from Mexico, and I was like, cool. Just don't drink the water. You'll be
that's right. Yeah.
So, but that's really awesome. So you said that you were a musician, well, still a musician, but doing it professionally.
Yeah.
So what were you doing? Like, were you?
Yeah, I had the opportunity to do a lot of things in the music industry, from playing with a number of different working bands, playing at theme parks, playing in hotel acts, and working in music publishing and songwriting and concert production. And now I get to teach that side, the business side of the music industry. And so that is cool. That I still can't believe that, like, somebody pays me to hang out with lots of people and talk about music every day. I don't know. That also blows my mind.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, you know what, Jenny, you got it good. You got it real good.
I really do.
I mean, you've hit it.
I'm hiding in my awesome Dungeons and Dragons / recording studio in my house. I have it totally made.
You do, because I have a closet. I, I do that on my
We
car.
gotta fix that. We gotta fix that.
Yes, we do. We definitely got to fix that because it's either in my closet at home or at the base in another. Pretty much, it's a closet, and yeah, this is what we do. But we do it because we love what we do. We love talking about this stuff, and
Totally.
I mean, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun playing D&D, and we're actually going to be doing a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers D&D or version
Ah,
of
that's
D&D.
awesome.
Yeah, it's by that.
I'm gonna tune in for that.
Yeah, we're getting together our players, and it's mainly going to be like veterans that are going to be playing, but we're going to have a lot of fun with it, and hopefully we can keep it at least PG. But when you get enough of us together, it just, yeah, no, it doesn't happen very often.
That's my favorite thing about not streaming Dungeons and Dragons and just having a home game of it is that if it goes completely off the rails, I'm not like cringing and I'm like, oh my gosh, we have to delete that out of the VOD later.
It's funny that people have listened, are still sticking with us after some of the things we've said that are just like off the wall. But it's like we're kind of like those old guys that you get to a certain age and you can say whatever you want, and it's like, oh, that's cute. They're just old. It's kind of like that with us. Oh, they're veterans. It's okay.
It's okay. Yeah. I mean, you guys get a pass, like defending the country and all that.
Oh my God, Gene's lying. He's bed by. Shut up.
Hey, that's my bedtime. Don't knock 8 o'clock bedtime.
So, besides D&D, besides the music, what else do you kind of like? What else in the geekdom do you like to do?
So, my players actually got me into PC games.
Okay.
I had never really been able to explore video games for most of even in my childhood. It was something that like my mom always frowned upon because video games were for boys, and I wasn't allowed to play video games, and so it's something I get to explore now in my adult life, and that's been a lot of fun kind of figuring out what I like and what I don't like, and now getting to share that with my kid. That's super cool too. Because it's like they come out of the womb, and I swear, like the hospital hands them an iPad, and they just know how to do all the things, and play all the games. And so I've that's been a great learning experience. And then kind of the other like weird geekdom to kind of smush together is kind of the place where music and Dungeons and Dragons converge has been a really amazing place for me. I think if music wasn't a significant part of my Dungeons and Dragons games, I don't think I would like them as much. And so it's cool to find other people who have that same feeling about the music in their games and take it that seriously.
Mhm.
And so that's been a really unique aspect of music is its own geekdom.
Oh yeah, it definitely is. For years I played guitar myself, and
Awesome.
I kind of stepped away from it. Got busy with all the other stuff that I'm doing. I still have a couple that are just sitting in my closet, but um, music is a huge thing. And I did a D&D party for my daughter when she turned 12.
I
She
love
was like,
that.
yeah, she's like, I want a party. I was all like, all right, I literally turned the garage into a tavern, lit up the place, put a speaker kind of hidden so I could have the tavern sound. And then at certain points, I was hitting music to cue up, okay, the adventure's going, here we go. And the kids absolutely loved it.
You
And
are the coolest dad.
I try. I really do try, but
That's
it's,
the coolest. I'm stealing that idea. I mean, and that's probably a business model in itself, right? Running D&D birthday parties, man.
oh my gosh. Okay, we gotta talk. You do it on
Uh,
the West Coast or the East Coast. I'll do it on the West Coast.
oh
And
man, you'll have to get James to cover my territory. I'm out of I'm spread thin.
all right, we'll talk to James too. We'll bring him in, and we'll just build this whole thing.
Sure, sure, yes.
But so you say that music is a huge thing for you. Do you write your own music for your D&D games?
I don't, and the reason why is because I have very, very strict rules about the music in my D&D games, and they come from a very geeky, like, psychology standpoint about the psychology of music, and I even talk about this in a lot of my content, and some people are very averse to this. They're like, "You that's too hardcore about the music," and then other people are like, "Yep, them's the rules, you're totally onto something." And so some of the rules are you can't have any extremely recognizable music in your games. Like anything that contains a motif from Lord of the Rings. That would be,
Yeah.
or Indiana Jones, something that would be instantly recognizable, because your subconscious latches on to different outcomes because of the way that sound and that particular motif and that particular soundtrack has a particular outcome, and so your subconscious latches onto that, and so that can subconsciously derail a game. And so other rules are it has to be strictly orchestral music. If it sounds way too much like virtual instruments or there's modern instrumentation in it, like piano or saxophone, it doesn't make the cut into my games. I make a couple exceptions for piano in very, very rare instances, but I also have people pitching their orchestral music to me to use in these playlists that I share with all of my wonderful D&D friends on TikTok and Instagram, and so that is also pretty cool that people want their music in Dungeons and Dragons games, like, over a beer in homes across America.
That is really cool, and that I think I would go along with what you're saying as far as what's as far as what would be played in a game, because you're right. You throw in that Indiana Jones, and it doesn't even have to be the main theme, but just a moment in Temple of Doom. It's like the chase scene, and you have that going. It's like I know where that's from. Why I don't,
Mhm.
it throws me off.
It
I'm no
takes you out
longer,
of it. Yeah.
yeah, it completely takes you out of it. But we did have a question from, was that Dennis or David? It was from David. Boulder's Gate 3. Have you played it?
So I have, when it was the beta release, I was playing with a group when the beta came out, and they were like, "You absolutely have to try this. You're gonna love it because you love Dungeons and Dragons." And I played it, and I get the hype. I totally do. It's like an extremely powerful game, and it has a lot to it, but it's like
It's a lot.
all the things that I don't like about Dungeons and Dragons packed into a PC game and sold. It's like my least favorite things about it, are all in that, and that's the game. And so it's not for me. I'm probably not the target market for this game anyway. But I appreciate how mainstream and accessible it makes Dungeons and Dragons and how it's gotten other people into the game and kind of been a gateway.
It and David, who brought that up, was showing me this just the other day. He's like, "Yeah, check it out. You could even do They'll do perception rolls and all this other stuff." And I'm like,
It's crazy.
It's looks really cool, but I also had to get really close to the screen. I'm like, they're like tiny. He's all like, "Oh, it's because you're old. You got to just kind of turn it this way." I was like, "Nah, dude, they look this big. It's hard to see." I start to get confused because there's just too much going on. I'm like, it looks cool. I might
It
try
looks
it.
it does look really cool, and the character creation is off the charts. It's wild. It's a trip, but
So
it's
how
not
do
for me.
yeah, and it's some of these games are just not for everybody, and I'm like, yeah, it's cool. Like you said, it's a gateway. Maybe somebody will step away from that and actually go play the actual tabletop, but sometimes they're like, oh no, this is better. But another question is, how do you feel about people playing it to learn the mechanics before jumping into the actual tabletop RPG?
I mean, I think it's a great introduction, the basics to how a lot of tabletop games are played or how Dungeons and Dragons is played. But I think, there's no right or wrong way to play the game of Dungeons and Dragons, and you just have to find your table that wants to play that way. You know,
Mhm.
some tables are very mechanics heavy, and that's the game. And some, for me and my table, my game is very role playing and storytelling heavy, and the mechanics are just the gravity that keeps the story going.
Yeah, I kind of when I actually DM, that's where I'm kind of at, more of the role playing, not so much mechanics heavy, even though we do obviously we're going to roll over your perception, we're going to roll for all that other stuff, but we're not going to get like deep into 5th edition and like wait, this it's like, we're going to have fun with it and let's just go along. So but this
I don't butt sniff the game, yes. But then again, also, I'm old, Eugene, we're old. So it's not for us. When they were designing it, they weren't designing it for us.
Yeah, they weren't thinking of us. They were thinking of them kids that are, straight out of the womb in the hospital. Like, all right, I got to do something while I'm waiting for mom. That's who it's for. Definitely not us.
Not us.
So when I listened to the podcast, and we had talked a little bit about that, was you raised on DnD, you did mention something about using it as somewhat of a therapy tool. I know you're not a professional therapist, but you use it in that capacity. Now, how did you get started doing that?
So I attribute Dungeons and Dragons to being incredibly instrumental for being the catalyst, or at least one of the many catalysts, for leaving my own domestic abuse situation. And it occurred to me that if it can help me, it can help others. And I had the opportunity to round up some moms who are in some bad places, just in their relationships and in their lives. And I told them about that, and they said, well, we'd be willing to try it, but it seems so silly. And they had a lot of ideas about what it would be. And when they actually played, it wasn't what they thought at all. We kind of played Dungeons and Dragons light the first time, right? Like a diet version. And they actually found it so inspiring and so engaging that they all went out and bought the players' handbooks, and became engrossed in it. And we did several more games. And I think it's one of those really amazing tools, like play therapy almost, right? Where role playing can give you the opportunity to find courage within yourself that you wouldn't know that you have, and to explore your own fears and your own insecurities, and in a safe way, where maybe you can't stand up to somebody in your real life because they might retaliate against your children. But if you have the guts to be able to do it in game, it can start to build that courage within yourself. And that's really, really powerful.
It definitely is, because it's the way you're saying, and what I've also, and it was a little bit of what I've mentioned when I messaged you and stuff. It can take you out of also just the environment that you're in, period.
It's escapism. At its core, that's all it is. It's escapism. It's daydreaming. It's imagination. Yeah.
And it's something that we don't have as much as we used to, like when we were younger. When we were younger, that's all we had was, we had to use our imagination, because we didn't have the laptops, the iPads, all these video games that are out now. We had, I had a stick in a rock.
And that's probably why Baldur's Gate doesn't do it for me, and it doesn't do it for you, because it takes away from that amazing visceral feeling of being able to theater of the mind and see an entire world play out in front of you, without ever having to actually see, feel, or touch it. But it's truly right there in front of you.
Yeah. And that's the thing with this, and Dave right there is saying that this is a cool message to put forward, using for vets PTSD would kind of mirror that.
Yeah.
Because two things, it takes us out of what's going on in our head, what's gone on in the past, and can allow us to either let it all out while playing the game, and also take us out of that environment and put us, like you said, it's more of a safe environment to be able to talk, and could actually open us up to talking about what may have gone on, what's causing whatever it is that's going on. So yeah, I mentioned that this is something that me and David were talking about and wanting to pursue more, and use this as that type of tool, like how you're using it with your groups. And we're definitely not professional therapists either. We're just crap talkers and everything else.
I think it's such a good idea.
It is. And we got to figure out how to do this and where we're going to get started, or just forget about it for a bit while playing. Yeah, out of something
Yeah,
different.
and even if they don't get any of that, emotional or, stuff out of it or any of the stuff that I mentioned, previously, even if they get nothing else out of it, it's a social activity that connects you guys, and so you're not alone. For those hours that you guys are together sitting at a table, at least you're doing a critical thinking exercise together and you're not alone.
Yeah, so it's kind of funny. Um, my last deployment, uh, we were kind of in a situation where we're pretty much staring at each other for, I think it was David, what was our shifts? 8, 12 hours, something like that. But we were in a situation where we're literally just sitting there, stuck looking at each other for this whole time.
Mm,
And we couldn't bring in any like things to really pass the time. So one of the guys was all like, um, why don't we play D&D? The other guys were like, we're not going to do that. It's kind of dumb. And we talked him into it. And we're sitting there, and these guys went from, it's kind of stupid to, hey, are we going to play this week? It's like,
I love that.
yeah, if you want, we can do it. And we forgot about all four walls that were around us because we were so engrossed into the game that we're playing. And these guys started to actually open up more and actually just talk more about things that are going on in their life and stuff. And I still talk to a couple of the guys to this day, even though we're in different parts of the state, and see how they're doing. And it was all because this game, D&D.
I love
So
that. It could probably be articulated better why it's so powerful emotionally and psychologically by somebody who has, like, degrees in this and stuff. Um, but it is incredibly powerful and in ways that I can't even articulate or even begin to explore. All I know is it helps.
it does. It's really a great tool, not just for, you can use it for kids too, which you had mentioned in the podcast I heard you, was that there's stuff for younger kids too.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah. We talked about a guidebook called Amazing Tales, which is
That's
like D&D light, light, light. Because I have a little kid who has, a wild imagination. And at the end of the day, little kids just want to destroy everything and like commit war crimes and burn down the whole city and like murder everything. And that's a lot. Um, but it is certainly a lot of fun to explore that imagination. And I think, I don't know what happens in play therapy, but I imagine that play therapy is a lot like that.
Yeah, the first time I actually played or had my daughter play with me, we got into a situation and she's like, I'm gonna throw a fireball at the wolf. I'm like, what? You're gonna do what? She's all like, yes. I'm like, all right, go for it, kid. That's what you want to do. But
Hey,
it's
it's
fun.
a great place to learn and be reminded that all actions have consequences.
They definitely do. But it's just, there's so much to this game. And you're now the third person we brought on that we're, talk about D&D and just how great the game is and how much it's gone from just being this, again, fat guys in a mom's basement playing to, look at us, we're not, well, we're not that slim, but yeah, it is awesome to hear everything that you're doing and watching your TikToks and watching your Instagrams. I even like the latest one. I just put that up in our story
I saw that.
about
Thank you.
we will continue to do that for you, Jenny, because we want to spread the word about you and everything that you're doing. Um,
I
and
love
so
that.
you can keep getting paid. Somebody's got to
Hey,
get paid.
thanks. Yeah, and I got your guys back however I can help you, let me
Oh,
know. You ever need somebody to fill in for David when he doesn't show up? Like, I'll be there and I'll help come quiz people?
by all means, you can. You know what? You're more than welcome to come on anytime. We'll try to make it a
I'm
little
clearly
early.
better at it, like, because I already show up.
Well, yeah, exactly. You showed up, so you know what? You're already good to go.
See,
This
I'm
guy, on
hired.
the
Give me a
other
job. Hand me a ghost, I'm in.
yep, that's how I'm going to pay you, Jenny. You're going to get a case of ghosts. So
Perfect,
there we go.
perfect. I'll come back with some reviews on some ghost flavors.
Definitely. But so you know what? We talked a little bit that I didn't want to keep you up too long because I know you're 3 hours ahead of us, and it's already 11:30, and I know that at that point you're kind of like it's fading. So I don't
Oh,
want to.
do I look like I'm fading?
No, I'm not. No, no, you don't.
What are you saying, Eugene?
You don't look like you're fading. No, you're
Oh,
good.
okay.
You're good.
Okay.
I
Okay.
just don't want to. At one point, you're like, yeah, D&D, and all of a sudden you're like, where you have those
Yeah, if
moments.
I start snoring, just yell. I got AirPods in, it'll wake me up.
But have you ever had that moment where it's like you've been up so long, you're trying to stay awake, and then you start babbling the dumbest things? You're just like, wait a minute, no, I didn't mean that.
I mean, I talk for a living. I
Oh,
mean, I'm constantly just babbling.
oh, yeah. Here we go. Not fading, but trying to cut into the much needed rest cycle. Yes,
Mm,
you're going to be going into your rest cycle soon, Jenny, so you can get.
I can't wait.
But Jenny, I love to keep you on, and I also would want you to come back. Definitely
Yeah.
would love to have you on again. Anything that we can do for you, by all means, let us know. Because
Check me out on TikTok, Punk Rock Jenny, or on Instagram, Punk Rock _Jenny, because somebody took Punk Rock Jenny on there, but it wasn't Punk Rock Jenny. Yeah. Let's see. Check out valiantadventuringco.com for some really cool, affordable battle maps that you don't have to pay $20 at the office supply store. I teamed up with a amazing digital artist called Eightfold Paper Company who licensed them to be printed so that you can have them in your home games super affordably at half the price of what you'd pay at the office supply store. So they're the coolest. And yeah, let's come check out my playlist on Spotify, Punk Rock Jenny D&D playlist. And however I can help you on your adventure, Eugene, to heal vets through Dungeons and Dragons and help you with your live stream, I'm there.
awesome. We are definitely going to hit you up and bring you back on. And
Yeah,
we
you're going to
will.
have to remind me what time it is in my state, though.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
Yeah.
We'll send you some coffee, some energy drinks. Make sure so you're firing.
You tricked me the first time, though. I mean, you didn't tell me you were across the country. You tricked me.
No, I said 7:30, and I had PM PSD.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. I'm going to post a whole news story now.
Oh, Jenny, it was a pleasure. I mean, literally, really a pleasure talking to you, and looking forward to working with you more and getting to know you and all that other stuff. And welcome to the Geek Saga family. You're now part of us.
Yes.
You're one of us. We will
Yes.
definitely be posting up your stuff on our story so everybody can find you and see where you're at. We'll send you not just a ghost, but I'm going to send you a shirt too and
What?
stickers.
What?
Yes, you're getting the
I'll rock
full. Heck yeah, you're going to get the full treatment from us. So
Awesome. Awesome. I'm here for it. Yes, have me back on, and thank you for having me. The pleasure was all mine.
of course, Jenny. And again, you guys check her out, Punk Rock Jenny. You'll find her on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all those wonderful places. And my mouse died. I hate when that happens because I was going to bring you out the proper way. But Jenny, thank you again. And we're going to let you go now. So we will talk to you soon.
Good night, everybody. Thank you so much. Bye.
And we're back. And David's talking smack in the chat. Thank you, David, for coming on to the comments and getting me there. So Dennis, yeah, she was a great guest. I wish I had more time with her. I feel bad that we kept her up so late, but it's also, I feel bad that I have to cut it short because I am in my car with the AC running still and missing the game, but it's okay. It was worth it. It was worth it. She was a great guest. She's awesome. Looking forward to working with her. Wish David could have came on, but he had some issues with the internet, but at least he was able to moderate for us and also, throw in some comments and ask some questions. So you guys, it's a pleasure as always coming on here to, talk to you guys and have awesome guests like Jenny. But we are going to call it quits for tonight because, like I said, I got to pack up my stuff. I got to move my car. I got to get my kid because the game's almost over, which I'm pretty sure they won because they've been on a winning streak, which is really cool. So, guys, best way to find us again, all at the Geek Saga on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, and now thegeeksaga.com. We have our own website again. Check out all that stuff. Check out Ulanzi. Check out Renegade Game Studios. Check out Donner for all your sound needs. Check out all those great companies. We post them up all the time on our Instagram. We post them up on our Facebook. We have links to them. Check out our link tree on our Instagram, and you'll be able to find everything on there, all the links to go to everywhere that we're at. David, if you got anything else to chime in with? You didn't miss the fireworks last night. What fireworks? You missed the fireworks last night. What fireworks, Dennis? Was there something going on that I missed? I never missed something. I must have missed something. But anyways, I'm just babbling on now. Anyway, hold on. I gotta stretch my legs. Old man. All right. Not a good view. So just thanks for us here. Sorry, couldn't get on. That's cool, man. It happens. I mean, we always have some sort of technical difficulties. If we had a cool studio like Jenny, that would be that'd be awesome. You know, our own little hideaway. No, I'm not fading. And then there's a note from our producer. So then it's time for me to say goodnight. Good night, folks, because, yeah. Anyways, guys, it's been great being on and talking to everybody. And and I love being on and doing this show. So that's it for us here at the Geek Saga. Don't miss out. Next week, we'll be back on 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Just so nobody gets mixed up. Make sure you have your coffee, your energy drinks, Pacific Standard Time. If you're on the East Coast, you're 3 hours ahead of us. I'm just kidding, Jenny. But always join us. Next week we have yeah, that's right. Sorry, I'm not fading. I'm just trying to do a couple things at the same time. So, as always, join us next week when the saga continues, guys. We'll see you next week. Talk to you soon.